in here today, whether you're a member of the applicant owner team here, a neighboring property owner, or someone else connected to the project in some way. So we'll start with someone under iPad 10 with the glasses and the blue shirt. Could unmute for me.
Yep.
All right. Did you give me your name?
Philip West.
Okay. And you're the applicant on the project?
I am.
Okay, great. Welcome, Mr. West.
Thank you.
I have someone under Sina D. Is that Dagar?
Hi, yes, this is Sina Dadgar. I'm the owner of the house, as well as my wife is also here.
Okay, great. You said your wife, is that Sandra Quezada?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, great.
I'm the
Welcome.
owner.
Okay,
Thank you.
great. Welcome to both of you. And then we have somebody under AS. Is AS here with us? If so, if you could unmute. Okay. Does anyone else on the call know who AS might be, or are they with the applicant here? No?
I do not.
Okay. Okay, great. We'll see if they want to join at any point. Until then, let's keep moving forward. We also have Matt Lascheid here, who is from the planning department. Welcome, Matt.
Hi, David. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
All right. Are we expecting anyone else from the applicant owner side to join us here before we get started?
No, we're not.
Okay, great. Let's go ahead and get into it. I need to read through our hearing script. This is just going to cover the procedure for the hearing, and then we'll begin. So this is the August 13th, 2025 session of the zoning hearing examiner docket. Again, my name is David Sturkey. I'm the zoning hearing examiner for the city. The case before us today is case number ZH20250075. That is 3462 Brotherton Road. The purpose of this hearing is to allow applicants and any other parties to testify and to offer and refute evidence and testimony. This hearing will follow the rules found in the zoning code and the supplemental rules of the zoning hearing examiner. All testimony and evidence that an applicant or any other party wishes to offer must be presented at this hearing. The hearing will proceed as follows. The applicant, the applicant's attorney, or the applicant's agent will first present the applicant's case. So for our purposes here today, I'll allow Mr. West and the owners at that time to tell me about the project, the relief that they're requesting, and of course, why they think I should grant that relief or why that relief is appropriate in this case. One of you can speak, all of you can speak, however you want to orient your presentation is up to you. After you've had that opportunity, I'll then move. If we do have anyone here from the public that would like to speak on this application, I'll then give them an opportunity to speak. If there is anyone that joins us from the public, I'll turn it over to Mr. Lascheid next to provide any testimony in addition to his staff report. I will then give the applicants an opportunity to respond to anything that Mr. Lascheid or anyone from the public has said during the hearing, and then make any closing statements. After all presentations have been made, I will close the hearing. Decisions may be expected within 2 weeks. I may limit or exclude any testimony that I deem irrelevant or outside the scope of the application being considered. I may interrupt any speaker to ask questions or make any comments. In the event of any technical difficulties, I'll do my best to troubleshoot those issues on the fly. Excuse me, but to the extent there's some defect in the Zoom technology, I may continue or postpone the hearing at my discretion. All right, the last thing I need to do is just swear in all of our witnesses. So, excuse me. If you intend on providing any testimony here today, making any comments, asking any questions, really doing anything other than just strictly observing, then the zoning code requires that I swear you in prior to your testimony. So if that's you, if you could take yourself off of mute at this time, raise your right hand. I'll need everyone to answer out loud. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you shall provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
I do.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thanks, everyone. All right, who's going to be taking the lead here on the applicant's presentation?
If you would like, I could start.
Sure, Mr. West, the floor is yours.
That's okay. Okay. Excuse me. We were the owners of the property last year, and because we do a lot of different property projects, we had checked out the neighborhood and decided that having a parking space off this road was significant in a few things: safety, aesthetic, and allowing people to get in and out of their vehicles. away from a high traffic area. And I had done a lot of research. I'd gotten police reports on accident data, speed data, talked with the Department of Transportation, talked with the Oakley Community Council. And so I gathered all the information. And as I dug more into the Department of Transportation, I did educate myself on a lot of different things, some being road classifications. And there are 4 different road classifications. There's local streets, which are small neighborhoods, collector streets, and minor arterial streets, and then major, which I assume is highway. And there was the classification for this road is actually a minor arterial road, and I think it can accommodate up to 8,000 cars a day. And then as I collected more data, I just was literally trying to collect the data to help understand what the zoning code meant and how it would help us. And that zoning code allows up to like 8,000 cars a day. And as I submitted in my documentation, there were a significant amount of accidents reported on that road, being vehicle to vehicle collisions, which were a total of 41 accidents. 34 were vehicle to vehicle, and actually there were 7 reports of parked vehicles being hit. So we chose, and just because you see this around the Oakley neighborhood and other neighborhoods, that there are different types of parking, off-street parking, whether it be a driveway or front yard parking or front area parking. And if it's done aesthetically pleasing, so that was our goal, was to put in off-street parking for safety, for aesthetics, and help to increase the value of the house by aesthetically looking more pleasing than the existing configuration. So we installed this parking area through a landscape company, and found out that we didn't meet the zoning requirements, and that kind of started the effect of the domino effect of collecting data, understanding what the zoning code was. And so we're here today just to ask for this special exception, and it's based on traffic, the classification of the road, safety, and accessibility to the house.
Okay. Let's see. Is there anything else you want to tell me now about this project?
Well, I guess I would like to say a couple of things about, I talked to the community council, and I've submitted a few letters, neighbor letters, right next door, within a block away, letters from the current owner, letters from the community council. And there's no objection from any of those. And being that there was a meeting, and I just fell into this information while investigating, was that I didn't realize that the city and the community had started a program, had to do with community safety. And it started in 1922, they were collecting some of the same data that I had been collecting. And due to the safety and concerns, the community and the city had approved through this board, installing, I guess they're called speed cushions. And I understand the speed cushions had been installed on parts of Brotherton Road, and the plan was to install them further down Brotherton Road, but due to financial constraints, they had not completed that. So it's kind of in the process of being done. But it was eye-opening to learn about the different levels of streets, different classifications, different traffic patterns, accidents. I grew up in that area in Oakley, and I know it's a kind of a major thoroughfare to get on Brotherton Road. It's a double yellow line street. It can run from Madisonville through Oakley, over to Norwood. And I grew up there, and I traveled that every day, just getting back and forth to different places. So I guess for safety and aesthetics, we're just asking that this zoning board consider the facts that I've presented, and to allow the current owners to leave this parking as it is.
Okay. Did either of the current owners want to add anything?
Yes, thank you for the opportunity. And I think Mr. West covered all of this. The only thing I wanted to add that might not be included in the application is that these days in the past, I believe past week or maybe 10 days, they are actually installing the speed bumps very close to our property. And so the entire street, there are signs that says do not park in the street, do not park in the street. And I think because of the front yard parking, we are able to park one of our vehicles, which, is very convenient for us. That's really the only thing I wanted to add. Thank you.
Thanks. One more question for Mr. West. You said that you did submit letter from the Oakley Community Council?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and were they supportive of the request or just did not object to the request?
No,
I can look it up.
Yeah, I'll just say real quick, they were in support of the off-street parking as the current configuration that we had installed. As long as the neighbors didn't oppose, and the one of the neighbors to the right, to the left, if you're facing the house, they're out of town owners. I believe they're in Florida, and they're rent their property. And then just to the right of that, I did get a letter from that neighbor saying they agree with the configuration. Then I went down the street. I spent a half a day trying to get people, but missed a lot of people. But I did get a couple of letters from neighbors. And then I approached the Oakley Community Council, and because they had worked on this for safety issues the year prior, that's why the speed cushions, that's what came out of their talks with the city and the safety and the community was collectively to install speed cushions. And so they were all for like off-street parking. They think the more we can get cars off the street, less traffic, accidents of parked cars being hit. It's just a major road. It's not like a neighborhood road. It's kind of a cut through for many different areas.
Okay, great.
And I have the letter here if you want me to read. It's very short and brief. If you'd like me to read it, see, I can.
No, it's okay. I actually found it in the application materials there.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah. Okay, great. Well, I'm going to turn it over now to Mr. Lashide. Mr. Lashide, anything you want to add to the conversation here?
Sure. So the zoning code does not allow front yard parking in residential districts for aesthetic and safety reasons. You're allowed to have a driveway that leads to a permitted parking space, either in a garage, attached or detached, or on a paved surface in the backyard. You're not allowed to just pave a parking lot in the front yard of your house. And, had there been permits obtained for the work, that would have been identified earlier. But the work was done, to my knowledge, with no building permits prior to the property being sold. So now we're kind of retroactively looking for approval here. Front yard parking is kind of a challenging case here. It's not something that staff usually is supportive of. It's a difficult application to make based on the standards for special exceptions in the zoning code. I do think that the applicant has done a pretty good job of demonstrating that their project meets those standards, though. A lot of what we're looking for special exceptions, the standards are that there are no substantial impairment of property values for neighboring properties, no undue adverse impact for neighboring properties, and that it's generally compliant with other standards in the code. I think the application materials submitted, because they include letters from neighboring property owners, demonstrate that there is not expected to be a substantial impairment of property values or adverse impacts for neighbors. If there were, I don't believe they would have written letters of support. And same going for the community council. The traffic is, that's not necessarily a zoning specific issue. We don't directly deal with projects in the right of way, but it's an interesting point, I suppose, that there are speed bumps being added because of high traffic and accidents here. That's an unusual condition that the applicant has identified. So generally, our staff does feel that this project is kind of unique and meets the standards for special exceptions, and we recommend approval.
Okay, thanks, Matt. All right, I'll turn it back over to the applicant and the owners. Anything you'd like to say in response to any of Matt's comments or anything in closing or otherwise before we adjourn here today?
No, I just want to thank you all for giving us the opportunity to present today and address some of the issues that previously the community and the city have addressed. So I appreciate you taking the time to listen to us and have the opportunity to do this. And thank you.
Sure.
Likewise, I just wanted to thank both of you and Mr. West as well for giving us an opportunity to talk to you, tell you about our case, and we appreciate your time.
Okay, great. I think we'll leave it at that. I'd like to take a little bit of time to review all the application materials and the letters, and the rest of the evidence and the testimony here today. I am inclined to agree with the recommendation from the zoning staff. I think the evidence as I've seen so far does sort of lean towards an approval on this, but I just want to make sure that I review all the evidence. You know, I think staff mentioned that these are a little bit tougher and generally something that we don't often approve unless there's some special circumstances. So I want to take a look at all the evidence and make sure that's the case. I mentioned at the beginning, I'll have a decision within the next 2 weeks. As soon as I finish that, I'll put it into a PDF. It'll be in writing. I'll put it into a PDF and I'll email it to everybody in the hearing here. So as soon as that decision is complete, you guys will have it really just moments after it's complete. I see we have a hand raised. Did you want to ask a question?
Yes, Mr. Sirki, I realized one thing I forgot to mention, sometimes I talk to the neighbors that are around us, and they are all very supportive of this matter. And I was going to ask or suggest, if needed, we can provide additional letter of support from our neighbors.
Yeah, I mean, so letters of support from neighboring property owners are always something that is looked at positively as I'm making these decisions. But we would need something in writing to be submitted, and typically once these hearings are closed, we cannot take in new evidence. And so trying to think how we could best handle this. So you're confident within the next week or two that you could get written letters of support from adjacent property owners?
Absolutely, I can find a few.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, then I think that we may have to continue this hearing in progress to allow you to supplement the record with those letters. Which would essentially mean that we would just need to come back here in a week or two. I'd reopen the hearing. You would formally sort of offer these letters on the record, and then I would actually close the hearing, which was what I was about to do. That way, we just do everything according to the procedure and the rules, and those things can formally be entered into the record. So would you like to do that? And how long do you think you would need?
I mean, I think I can gather evidence, more letters in the next few days.
Okay,
so
we could. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it's up to you. We could kick this out for a week. We could kick this out for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. It's really however long you think you would need to get some of those letters.
And once these letters are obtained, should they be emailed to you or should be submitted to electronically?
Yep. So email to me and to Mr. Lashide. We'll add them to the case record, and we'll just come in here to officially close out the hearing once that additional evidence is submitted.
All right.
So yeah, it'll just really be sort of a formality, but again, just based on the rules, I can't take in new evidence after we close these hearings. So we just have to kind of keep this hearing open. I'll call it back to order. If there's anything you guys want to add at that time, you can, or anything you want to talk about with conversations from the neighbors, we can, and then I'll just close out the hearing. So it'll only take a few minutes. So you tell me, I'm looking at August 20th, August 27th, or September 3rd.
I think I can gather something for August 20th.
Next week?
Yes.
Okay. Let's come back August 20th at the same time at noon. Mr. Lascheid, I don't know if that works for you, but you can.
That works.
Okay, great. Mr. West, same thing. If you can make that, great. I don't, your attendance isn't necessarily required for that, since it's going to be sort of a very brief and sort of a formality, as I said before. But if that time works for you, you can come back as well.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so here's what I'll do. I'll have Cassandra resend out a Zoom invitation. And so you all will get an email here the next day or two with the updated Zoom invitation, and you can just come at noon next week and we'll close it out. And in the meantime, Mr. Dodgar, is that right?
That's right.
If you want to submit those letters to us as you get them, that would be fantastic, and we'll add them to the record, and I'll have a chance to review them before the hearing.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Okay, no problem. All right, this is continued in progress. Thank you all for your time, your testimony here today. I will see you next week at noon. Have a
Thank
great day.